The Democrats in the United States, their comprehensive economic plan to combat climate change, address healthcare costs, and increase taxes on large corporations was approved by the Senate over the weekend on Sunday. A significant victory for President Biden and his party as they seek to keep control of Congress in the November midterm elections. The Inflation Reduction Act passed the upper chamber on a party line vote of 51-50, with Vice President Kamala Harris casting the deciding vote in the Senate, which was evenly divided. Democrats overcame unanimity among Republicans to pass the bill using a streamlined legislative procedure called reconciliation. For more on these headlines, we're going to cross over to London, where we're joined by CEO of Perth Partners, Opeoluwa Dapo-Thomas. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. I want to start in China. Exports climbed to a record $333 billion. This is encouraging for the Chinese economy.
Oh, well, thank you for having me, Maurice. So, yeah, it's encouraging, actually, because if you think about it, China still had various lockdowns in the past few months. So, we've now seen growing demand. And obviously, if you do it on year to year, you've seen that China's trade surplus has grown up by about 18%. So, the amounts recorded for their trade surplus this week was very, very encouraging. It shows that they're trying to put the pandemic behind them, and then businesses are coming back to normal. And obviously, this has an effect even in the larger global economy, because obviously we know China obviously supplies a lot of countries lots of products, and now that demand is increasing, and then we see that they're now open to trade with less restrictions and less lockdowns, the world can obviously resume, and then we'll have less supply chain issues.
Thanks. Hong Kong shortening their hotel quarantine. You think that might encourage travel?
Oh, yes, to encourage travel. Most of the countries, even in Europe where I am, are taking off vaccination requirements, and most of them are taking off requirements for COVID documentation. And so I think the world is getting used to COVID being part of, there are still cases, but the world is getting used to COVID being part of our daily lifestyle. And obviously, they want to ease the frequency of travel and visits, because you know how trade and tourism has a productive and positive effect on the economy. So Hong Kong reducing their hotel quarantine by about 3 days is a good sign for the economy. It's a green light that, okay, people can come in and still do business. Although I believe it's still a bit draconian, but they could take it off completely, because to be honest, nobody wants to spend time in a hotel for 3 days, especially if the costs are going to be incurred by you. So, but it's a step in the right direction, and I believe in the next few months, with the situation getting better, they will take off the hotel quarantine in general.
All right. So the Bank of England is accused of not doing enough. We're coming to the UK now, not doing enough to rein in shadow banking. Banks across the world this accusation is leveled at them. I don't know. Do you think it's a fair accusation? What do you make of the attempts to try to rein in shadow banking?
Well, the truth is that finance generally should be regulated, but obviously we've seen the advent of new sort of products, new sort of companies, new sort of people with access capital, and then obviously we see a very, very willing and corroborating demand for people that have liquidity. So people, when they enter this shadow banking industry, people just make a lot of transactions outside traditional banking products, and obviously it creates a system where people can get defrauded. So the Bank of England has a prerogative, just like the way we have in Nigeria, the way the CBN has a prerogative and the SEC has a prerogative to ensure regulation into the economy, ensure that financial products obviously just go through the proper channels, so that there are proper channels to help and anyone who gets defrauded. So I think the Bank of England, they can do better, obviously, if the cases are terrible, but it's a matter of when, if shadow banking will obviously decline, because like I said, a lot of people need access to these products that shadow banking offers. So it's about bringing regulation to it and seeing that consumer protection is obviously guaranteed.
All right, let's come to the United States. Elon Musk challenging the Twitter CEO to a public debate on the number of bots on the platform. Do you think the CEO will accept that challenge?
Well, it'll be very interesting for him to accept the challenge, because it's going to be a make or mar debate. Because if he can't prove without verifiable doubt, or without undeniable doubt, that less than 5% of Twitter users are spam, then obviously it's going to put the company into disrepute, and it obviously puts the company shares and even the company as a whole into jeopardy. So I think it's something. I don't think he will take it up. I think he's going to turn it down. I think they follow the right path, which is a legal through litigation. They're going to look at it and see how they can make Musk pay for the damages that occurred from this acquisition deal. Elon Musk has his own. I mean, he has his own. What do I call it? Right? He has his graphs. He wants to know how many users, because obviously, if you want to buy a company, you want to have an idea of data, and obviously, so he believes he has been in the blind on the amount of people that use Twitter, and obviously, it's affecting his acquisition proposition. So, but I mean, the way he has carried it out is very, very unprofessional, and obviously, it's something that we all have to learn from.
And what do you make of the United States passing Biden's economic package just yesterday in the Senate?
Well, I mean, I saw the name of the act, the Inflation Reduction Act. I think it was very hilarious, to be honest. And I think the US always wants to buy their way out of trouble, and that's why they keep borrowing anymore. As of today, the US spends about $900 million paying interest on loans. So I think putting more money in the economy is a bit counterproductive if you're trying to reduce inflation. But what do I know? I think, but it's a good step. It's a good win for the Democrats. I mean, it was a tight vote. It was Kamala Harris that had the major vote, so it was 51-50. Although Senate got away with some of the things they wanted, but this is a big win for climate change. I mean, that's basically where most of the money is going into: climate change, electronic vehicles, how they can ramp up production. But it's a very, very good win for the Democrats, and I think Biden would have his way to implement a few changes that he wants to in the next few months.
Real quick, I just want to take you back to China. What do you make of Baidu wanting to test driverless robot vehicles in 2 cities? Would you test out a vehicle with no driver? I want to get your take on that.
To be honest, yeah, I wouldn't test it, but well, yeah. I mean, it's good for innovation. I mean, I'm trying to imagine the first person who went on a plane. So imagine being on a moving object across different countries. Imagine obviously the fear of falling off the plane, not working and stuff like that. So we need someone that will take the risk. Definitely not me, of a driverless car. But to be honest, it's very encouraging. We're seeing innovation, driverless cars. We're seeing different sorts of innovation, and obviously it's going to be a big win for the automobile industry. And going across 2 cities is going to be very fantastic. I mean, it shows how much China is willing to step up their mark in the technological industry, and it's going to be a huge success if this journey becomes successful. It gives people a lot of confidence to enter vehicles like this, and obviously lets the manufacturers have an understanding of where they can go wrong, how they can fix gaps, so that they can ensure safety for people. But yeah, it's a very interesting initiative, and I would like to see the outcome of it.
Yeah, certainly. Really fascinating to see how things get there. CEO of Perth Partners, Opeoluwa Dapo-Thomas, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate your time.